Minister Justin Trudeau introduced legislation to legalize physician-assisted suicide.
It's a deeply personal issue that affects all of us.
Some believe it is their only option.
We are very concerned about the exclusion of individuals with mental illness.
What's good, people? Welcome back. Culture Reacts. We're back with another video. Today we're discussing euthanasia or assisted death. I didn't know that this was really a thing. I don't know, like legally speaking anyway. So Canada is grappling with, well, the title of the video is Canada seeks to delay euthanasia for people with mental illness. So yeah, this sounds like the very kind of slippery slope something like this would lead to. So
the right to die.
The right to die.
I mean, I'm just looking at, I don't know, because before we've even gone into it, I just see what it says, the right to die. Isn't that suicide?
Exactly. And again, all these euphemisms, assisted death, you know, trying to make us not see like what this is all about.
Okay.
You know, before we get into the video, your gut feeling, like, do you think people should have the right to end their lives, like, legally? And do you see situations where you think that would be okay? And just your gut feeling. Okay, yes or no?
No.
So just no. That's your gut feeling.
Yeah.
This legislation to legalize physician-assisted
It's
suicide.
a deeply personal issue that affects all of us.
Some believe it is their only
We
option.
are very concerned about the exclusion of individuals with mental illness.
No one should be faced with such an impossible choice.
Deeply personal, deeply divisive. The question of who should be allowed assisted dying has driven up tensions in Canada. Canada first introduced medical assistance in dying, or MAID, where medics can help people end their life, in 2016. At the time, it was only open to those whose natural death was reasonably foreseeable, for example, patients with terminal cancer. 5 years later, the law was extended to adults who had a serious incurable illness or disability if they were in an advanced state of decline and endured intolerable physical or psychological suffering. It was, however, not open to those with only a mental illness. That restriction was planned to be lifted in March this year, but yesterday the Canadian government put forward a bill to delay it for another year.
My name is Roger Foley.
Okay. And it was one I was saying. Sorry, I know this is serious, guys. It's just, you know.
It's a slippery slope.
Yes. And you saw where they spoke about how it started people with terminal cancer.
Which I think all of us are in agreement.
Yeah.
Like, it makes sense.
And
like,
that's what I was also saying.
Let's say,
In
like,
extreme pain.
if you're in late stage cancer or something,
Yeah.
and like it's obvious you're not gonna make it past the next 3 months, and you know, like,
And the pain is intolerable.
I think all of us, we can say, you know what, yeah, we understand. So that's fine. But then what happens? It starts to get problematic when we deal with what happens with somebody who's in like extreme unbearable pain, but they're not going to die anytime soon. Now what?
Or like they still have 3 months.
No, dog.
6 months.
No, they're living years. They've got a condition that's put them in pain all the time, but they're not gonna die from the condition. Now what? Now what?
Okay, now that's, I don't know. You see now,
You know what I'm saying?
it is, man. I don't know. It's a bit of a,
It
it is a
becomes-
catch-22.
It becomes a problem.
It's a catch-22 if you ask me. I mean, guys, think about this now. I mean, if you have a loved one who's going through something, you wouldn't want to see them in pain.
Exactly.
Generally,
Yeah.
you know, that's the last thing anyone would want. Now, I wouldn't wish it on anyone. However, if that would happen, and someone would say, "Yo, just let me go. I know I still have 8-10 months left," you're gonna be like, why you wanna go now?
But not even 8-10 months. I'm talking about, what if somebody's just in chronic pain, right? I mean, we're talking about the high end of pains. You're dealing with the morphines and whatever.
And they're living their life.
Then they're living. I don't even 8 to 10 months is better. At least like the doctor can say you're deteriorating and we don't think you're gonna last a year. I'm talking about, we don't know. You're gonna die when you die. Whenever. You could be here for the next 10.
That's
15.
crazy, man. That's crazy.
It becomes very, very untidy then
Now there's this
now,
issue.
now
of
there's this
mental
issue.
illness.
This takes us to another place.
Oh.
In that clip that we watched, there was the one lady that said, "Oh, we're concerned about." I think she said something to the effect of, "We're concerned about the mentally ill being left out of this." Now you're gonna get crusaders. There're gonna be movements built around this. And where do we stop? So, okay, mental illness is the diagnosable condition. So you've got proof of suffering, I suppose. You're gonna have to prove your suffering, I suppose. But many people have overcome depression, like meaning as in you were depressed, maybe you're like in a dark place, or in fact, I have a friend who had a mental sort of breakdown.
Yeah.
Now he's over the worst part and he's fine and everything is okay. What happens now
If maybe there was a scenario that maybe, you know, that was an option.
you see while you're still in the storm, but storms pass.
Yeah.
So that's where it becomes very irresponsible. Then you also factor in, you know, money makes things weird. So imagine you got your wife, who's maybe, you know, suffering with pain and everything, and you've got a life policy on her.
Oh, you see,
life policy, and as a result of her being sick, maybe for the last 4 years, your marriage has taken a knock. Your marriage is not in the best place. You know what I mean? How do we know?
Getting a bit dark, but yeah.
But no, but these are the
things.
These are the weird doors that get open. Open one door, it's not gonna stay there. We end up opening.
And the mandem is thinking, I can cash in.
Dog, I'm actually tired of taking care of, and our relationship is strained anyway. Who knows? Maybe you've started a little something on the side already, because you know maybe intimately
it's not
you haven't been able to for the 4 years.
Yeah.
And we don't know what's motivating you now. If it's really compassion for her, or the fact that you're trying to speed this up so you can start your new life.
And in fact, in insurance, there are certain rules in policies that when you take those policies, they ask you certain questions, you know, to ensure that you're not insuring a person just for the sake of you claiming.
Yeah, it's an insurable interest. What is it called? Insurable interest, I think.
Yeah.
Like you have to have a vested proper interest in that person. You can't just go insuring. Go looking for grannies somewhere to insure. you know, like
exactly.
that.
There must be something, but at the same time, it goes to that point whereby now you are claiming that no, this person needs to be assisted now to go. I know it's a bit dark.
I know, guys. I'm sorry, but
yeah. But again, okay, getting back to the original topic of with mental illness, right? The thing that I thought about is physical pain and mental pain, or is it mental pain or mental illness? So I think the thing maybe what people want they're grappling is with someone who's able-bodied, who is not suffering like a terminal person who has cancer, to them to just give up like that. Yes, technically it sounds that easy, but obviously they are going through something.
Yeah.
But it's the thought or the idea that this person is able-bodied and they can actually, the thought of them recovering, and they just need treatment and coming back, like what we said, as opposed to someone that you can see that their clock is definitely gonna tick and die down. So it's the thought of us thinking that how can that happen with an able-bodied person for just them to give up, right?
I think you just hit it on the nail. We'll hear what they're saying or grappling with, but I think the thing with mental illness is there's a huge possibility of recovery, or I don't know if you ever recover, but let's say remission. Let's put it like that. The person can have cancer, go into remission, and everything's fine. So let's say your depression is going into remission. There's a high possibility of that. And for me, it's irresponsible to allow. Again, you said that when you if we allow this, was a person of sound mind. If you're depressed, are you of sound mind to let us? We shouldn't let you. We can't trust your
That's why
decision.
they call it a mental illness in the first place.
You know, like that. So. Sure.
Yeah, let's go back.
There have been long-held concerns about MAID, including the idea pressure would be placed on patients to take up the option.
The hospital ethicists and nurses were trying to coerce me into an assisted death by threatening to charge me $1,800 per day or force discharge me without the care I need to live. I felt pressured by these staff raising assisted dying rather than relieving my suffering with dignified and compassionate care.
For some, this latest change was meant to be about correcting discrimination, arguing mental and physical health should be treated equally. But for others, the delay has brought relief.
It seems to me that offering death to people in the moments of greatest vulnerability, fragility, is profoundly unethical. I have a patient, I'm in the middle of treatment, the middle of medication trials, and the family doctor came along and kindly, from her perspective, offered MAID. The patient said, yeah, why don't I just die?
Proponents argue safeguards.
Dude, I'm sorry. This is another narrative now that I think these policies that get introduced like this, there's something behind it. How can you go about and offer personally, hey, by the way, do you want to die now?
That should be illegal.
That is very unethical.
It should be that should come from the person themselves, or at least their family.
Mm.
I can't even an outsider come here
And introduce
and, hey, do you wanna go? What the hell, dude? No. Then
And why is it on mental illness patients that they're offering these options to?
no,
these
I
people.
think that was physical.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. I thought they were doing that to mental illness patients. Like that's wrong. But still, even in that scenario.
Yeah, even if
Mm.
whatever, even if somebody's in late stage cancer suffering, it's none of your business. You shouldn't be
What are
coming
you
here.
doing?
What are you
You're
doing?
asking me to die
Yeah.
quick. No.
Then there was, you saw the patient there
Yeah.
that they were trying to pressure him into taking it by threatening him to charge him $1,800 a day. So this is where again I say economics make the waters muddy
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah.
If this becomes normalized, can't you see a situation where the government starts offing people for economic reasons?
Yeah.
Like it's inconvenient that you're alive, bro. So and it's
Yeah,
costing
you're taking
money,
up
you're
space,
taking up
man.
space, and especially now in Mzansi, they passed the NHI bill.
Okay.
You saw the national health insurance.
No, not exactly, but I heard about it. I don't know the technicalities, but I heard about it.
Basically, they're trying to give more normal South Africans access to like private clinic through a national health insurance. There's gonna be more lines and blah blah blah. Now you're taking up space. Hey,
The same quality that some people would say the same quality that you afforded at a private clinic, you're not gonna get anymore. In that sense, right?
Yeah, well, look, I'm not too
Hey,
educated. I can't remember general. So don't.
Look, I'm just using certain models like America, over there.
Ooh. And no, Canada actually. No, America doesn't actually. Canada is actually like that. There's no private care there. Everybody's on a national thing. No wonder they do. You see, no wonder they're doing that. They're pressuring the guy to go quickly. You see what I mean?
Taking up too much space.
Yeah. If you are on medical aid, his medical aid is his own business. He's paying whatever. So now you see, because the government's got an economic vested interest, you're taking up a bed. This is terrible. I know, guys. I'm sorry.
Like
You gotta laugh
actually-
sometimes. These things are crazy.
Yeah, you know what? It actually makes sense, like how the way you broke it up about the healthcare in Canada. That something like this could only happen in Canada. It makes sense, But again, the government does not care. They have an economic vested interest in your life. That's all you are. You're just a number. You're just digits. You're just figures.
You're not productive anymore. You're not gonna pay taxes, whatever. It's time to pack it up.
Leave the matrix.
It's bad.
Let's finish it up.
Guards have been designed within the law, arguing applying for MAID is not the same as thinking about suicide.
You have to separate suicidal ideation from wanting to access MAID for a mental condition. We believe the practitioners are very good at sorting out suicidal ideation. But it's really important that we get this right, in that I think that a lot of the opposition has been around suicide when it is not.
However, organisations...
Isn't it amazing? They created a whole minister for mental health. Look at South Africa. We have a whole minister for electricity. Isn't it weird that these positions just conveniently just pop up like popcorn when there's scenarios where the things that need to be addressed are popping up. Electricity is a crisis. What position should we create? A minister of electricity.
Mental health is a crisis.
Now it's a crisis.
Now she's telling us the difference between suicidal ideation. No, bruh.
No.
I actually, I'm sorry, disagree with her big time. But anyway, she's there. As you said, it doesn't look good when you've got a national health insurance and the government will be better off without you. It doesn't look. It's not a good look.
Dude, I think, you know, when you see how certain countries are run, you can see that, you know, these things make sense because of the policies that are put in place, why these things are happening. It's vested interests in these type of things.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, let's wrap it up.
have your say, man.
Yeah.
Have your say. You know, like, share, subscribe, help us. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's very touchy, guys.
Yeah,
Like, it's a very touchy subject, especially like what we said, you know, with people with personal experiences with families as well, because that's the sole point. You get what I'm saying? So it's not easy to navigate, but nonetheless, let us know what you guys think. Let us know, you know, whether you are or not for the ideology, and if you think there are scenarios where it's passable or not. Yeah, we'll really appreciate that. Don't forget to share, don't forget to like, and most importantly, please don't forget to subscribe on the road to 1,000. Check you guys on the next one.